All right, let's roll on to our number one position battle here for training camp, and that is the right guard position for the Eagles' offensive line. Seumalo has started at left guard for the Eagles since early in the 2018 season. He suffered a Lisfranc injury in his foot in week 3 last year that ended his season. It required 2 surgeries. During that time, Landon Dickerson really established himself as future starting left guard next to Jordan Mailata. And now Seumalo has moved to right guard to replace Brendan Brooks. When he's healthy, Seumalo has definitely proven himself to be a quality lineman in the NFL. The problem is health. Since he started all 16 games in 2019, Seumalo has played just 12 games over the last 2 years. And then you get to Jack Driscoll in his 3rd year. Absolutely has shown promise. He's proven that he's a quality and versatile backup in this league. He's played both guard and tackle spots. He started 13 games overall in his career, 8 at right guard last season. Per PFF, Driscoll ranked as the 20th best guard in the NFL last year. He missed 5 games as a rookie. He missed 8 more last season with injuries. And then you get to Cam Jurgens, the Eagles' 2nd-round pick. I'm really excited to watch Cam Jurgens this year. By the way, his beef jerky was delicious. It was seasoned very well. I had it the other day. Go check that out. He does make, yeah. Cam Jurgens has a beef jerky company. I swear to God.
All right, cool. Because I was like, are you just hanging out with Cam Jurgens? He's like, yeah, man, I just drove this out. I got the big smoked it. Come on over.
We ate it the other day. It was delicious. Jurgens was obviously drafted as future replacement for Jason Kelce, but he's never played guard at Nebraska. You hope that he's a quick learner. I think that's a really kind of underrated storyline to see how much Cam Jurgens picks up the playbook here for Nick Sirianni's offense, and I think definitely could have a chance to play right guard. I'm going to throw it to you, Shane. How do you see the right guard position playing out?
Yeah, so it's interesting because, as Andre Dillard taught us, switching sides of the line is not necessarily easy. And so Seumalo, it's not a foregone conclusion he can just switch to right guard. He would be playing, he's still next to Jason Kelce, but he's going to be playing next to a different tackle. You get the health issues that come into it. I've said all along, I thought Isaac Seumalo is kind of underrated by Eagles fans. He's a solid NFL starter, and I think that sometimes people have ingrained the guy that got benched against the Chiefs, like in his rookie or 2nd season, as who he is. And I think he's a good player. That said, I would start Driscoll. I thought Driscoll played too good at right guard last year to change that up. Cam Jurgens, I don't think he factors in here unless these 2 guys get hurt, which is a possibility. I just want Jurgens to learn behind Jason Kelce. So if it was me, I would be rolling with Driscoll. In fact, I would have gotten rid of Seumalo. I would have moved him. You could have saved $5.6 million by moving him, and I wouldn't have kept him at that price tag given the investment you have in Driscoll and how well he played given the draft pick of Jurgens. That said, I do think Seumalo is probably going to get the job here. The Eagles seem to like Seumalo quite a bit. I think he is probably your starting right guard unless he really struggles in camp. But I'm really pulling for Driscoll and maybe a Seumalo trade somewhere.
Love it. What about you, Ryan Finneran?
It's very interesting. I do like Driscoll. I liked how he played last year. Big fan of Seumalo. It's funny that Shane mentioned that game because I think Reese and I were watching that game together and just saying who is this turnstile? This guy that is just literally getting spun around, and oh my gosh, it was rough to watch. But that being said, I agree with Shane. I think Seumalo is going to be our starter come game 1. I do like Driscoll a lot. I like how he could step up at that time, and it's interesting that, again, Shane, echoing Shane, that he mentioned that Jurgens can be there, considering that Seumalo and Driscoll both are kind of not injury prone, but they've been injured quite a bit for their time. So it's one of those things where Jurgens, obviously, you're going to watch Kelsey, mirror him, learn from him, but also be prepared because both these guys could go down. So it's one of those things where he needs to be versatile. But when all is said and done, I think Seumalo being, you know, as big as he is, as strong as he is, I think that he will find success moving over to the RG.
Love it. Comments real quick. Dylan says that he loves the depth at inside offensive line. Fran Duffy and Ben Fennell were highlighting undrafted free agent Will Dunkel before the draft. I don't really know much about Will Dunkel. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Dylan also says Matt Pryor is currently listed as starting left tackle for Indianapolis. Praying for Matt Ryan. That's terrific. That is terrific. Marina Sand says, I think Nakobe Dean will be situational this year. I think. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right. What about you? He's going to be on the field a lot. What about you, Ryan?
Situation.
What about you, Reese?
Yeah, no, I again kind of am going to piggyback off of what everybody's saying here, but I'm actually predicting that Driscoll will win the job, and with that, I also feel like a Seumalo trade could be in the works, for a team where somebody goes down because, he could go anywhere and start. He's a very good guard in this league. I do agree that the transition is probably going to be a little tough, but he also has been kind of thrown around center and left guard, so he's not new to the idea of switching a position. So I just think Driscoll really, really outperformed all expectations last year. I thought he was, I'll be the first to admit, I was like, oh God, like, who is this guy? Like, this is going to be terrible. And he held his own. He more than held his own. So I think he right now has kind of that slight upper edge, in my opinion. I know that going into camp, it's probably going to be Seumalo taking reps at one, but I foresee Driscoll overtaking that. And I do not want to see Juergens at the guard position. I want you no more than 2 feet away from Jason Kelsey at all times. I want you to absorb not only his knowledge, but just his personality, everything. I want you just to become new Jason Kelsey. So don't leave his side. You were playing center. I don't even want you in this conversation. I think Driscoll ends up winning it. It's going to be a close race, and I think the Eagles would be smart to try and trade Seumalo, get a little bit of something, and Rufus knows what's up.
Yeah, Rufus says he's hoping Juergens focuses on center. I don't want him to end up being a great right guard and have Howie draft another second round center.